Document your life. This is something I am always preaching here on the YouTube channel. I'm extremely passionate about collecting these moments of everyday life, everything from personal milestones to traveling to just lounging on the couch with my family. I think having this record of the life that I'm living and how I'm spending my time, it's taught me a lot about myself and how I spend my time and what really matters. Even if it's something as simple as just spending the day at home, it's taught me a lot about how those small moments really mean so much more in time. But how do we stay in the moment? The second you pull the camera up to your eye and you start reading the light, setting your exposure, framing up your composition, has the moment itself changed, or have you removed yourself to the point that you're not even really there anymore? You're just basically a bystander looking. It's one thing to feel a moment and make a photo of that, as opposed to just making a photo to basically serve as a reminder. You see the photo one day and then you remember, oh, that's the day when, and then you remember a specific moment that day, but it's not actually there in the photo. To be able to anticipate that moment when it's coming though, and to be able to see things starting to build and build and build, and to have everything ready to go to catch it when it happens, it's really tough, and you will fail trying to do that over and over and over, but you can do it, and you can do it while being present, and that's what I want to focus on today. The most essential part of this is just simply carrying your camera, and I don't just mean having your camera, I mean actually carrying your camera with you. It's on you, around your neck, over your shoulder, it's with you at all times, ready to go. If your camera's in your bag, it just complicates things too much. It can take just a few seconds to go from getting your camera bag, getting the camera out, getting it set up. But those few seconds, sometimes that in itself is too long, and the moment can just be gone like that before you even realize it. I know that seems like a small thing, but keep the camera on you at all times. That is essential. The second most important thing, and probably another obvious thing, is that you have to practice every single day. And I know that seems obvious, but it's true. You just have to do it. You have to know your camera inside and out so that you don't even have to think about how to operate the camera while you're shooting. The second you start fumbling with your gear or trying to figure out how to change something on the camera, you're immediately taken out of that moment, and you're so much more focused on the technical side of things that you're losing it. The whole goal of this is to be as present as possible, so you need to know your camera inside and out. So we know it's essential that you carry your camera every single day and that you practice every day so that you know the camera inside and out and you don't even have to think about it. Once you have all of that down and the technical side of exposure and manipulating the camera and everything there is out of the way, that's when you can really start to focus on the moment itself. Everything around you, it's like you become hypersensitive to it, and you start paying the closest attention to just the smallest details, because everything matters, and you're figuring out what works, what doesn't, what you want to focus on, what you don't want to focus on. If I'm with my kids and my wife or friends of ours, I'm seeing photos constantly, and I'm not hung up on trying to figure out which photo I want to take. I'm taking a lot of photos, and I'm shooting more instinctually. I rarely shoot one single image and just be done with it. Anytime I make a photo, I'm usually making at least a few, because I'm trying to figure out what works best, and I'm changing up my perspective, changing up my composition, even exposure at times, but all of this is happening very instinctually. I'm following my gut, and I'm trying to figure out what feels right, like what feels like the moment that I'm chasing. If you look at a contact sheet of some of the most iconic photos in history, you'll often see that they weren't made within just a couple of photos. They were usually made over an entire roll, if not more, and you can kind of trace their footsteps and really start to see, their thought process as they were shooting and as they were making all of these changes. But it's that idea of shooting instinctually that makes this all possible, where you can make these decisions and not lose sight of what you're actually after. When I'm with my kids and I'm shooting photos of them, I'm not trying to orchestrate or control the scene. I'm trying to make sense of all of it. It's like a puzzle. What do I want in the frame? What do I not want in the frame? What's the story? What's the focus? All of these things I'm kind of just chasing with my gut, and I'm shooting a lot of photos. Paying such close attention to all of these small details, it's like I'm absorbing the whole moment even more, and I'm remembering all of these small minor details even more, because it's like sensory overload. I'm taking note of how I'm feeling and all of these little details in the entire scene, and I'm like a sponge, and I'm taking everything in. Most of my favorite photos of my family, I don't even remember taking the photo. I remember being there and I remember the moment, but oftentimes I'll get my film scans back, or if I'm importing photos off of an SD card, I see a photo and I'm like, I shot that? half of the time I don't even remember like seeing the photo. I'll remember what was going on and I'll remember being there, but I don't even remember having the camera up and shooting the whole time, because it's like I'm so focused on that this is just, it's like invisible. It's not even in front of me. And I honestly don't think it would be that way if I didn't do the first two things we talked about. If I didn't integrate photography so much into just my daily life, I don't think I would be able to disconnect from it and still be in the moment while I'm shooting. It's just how I see the world. It's how I navigate through my day-to-day life. And as a result of that, I feel like I can really see the life that I live and how I spend my time. And it's been able to kind of show me how grateful I should be for the life that I have. You know, it's really, really important to have that kind of record for me to like really show me what kind of life I have, because it's so easy to see, you know, the grass is always greener, this and that, social media, everything there. It's so important to really be able to see even the smallest details, how much we have to be thankful for. I feel like I've completely given myself to photography, and as a result of that, photography has given me a life that I'm incredibly thankful for, and it's shown me the things that I should be grateful for. So I hope that in some way photography can serve that same purpose for you as it does for me. So go out, document your life. That's it for today. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.